Welcome to Retro Reviews, everybody. I'm Ryan.
And I'm Jacob.
It's Christmas time, and what better way to celebrate it than counting down the top 10 Christmas fads of the last 5 decades.
I love lists. Oh, I put toys in yours.
First up, we have Evels Crash Car. This toy was made in 1975, and upon impact, it would release Evel Knievel from the car, teaching kids how to crash in style. Now, Evel Knievel did not get everything that he wanted out of this toy. He said, and I quote, "One toy I'd like them to make is my own idea. I think it's the most super toy in the world. You wind it up, it goes like a little bugger, goes across the floor, grabs this little Barbie doll, throws her on the floor, and gives her a little lovin'. Jumps back on his motorcycle and rides off."
This seems like he wasn't just trying to teach kids how to crash in style.
It does, doesn't it? Next up, we have the Pet Rock. This was literally invented by a guy that was sitting at a bar and decided that he didn't like listening to his friends ramble on about taking care of their own pets. So he decided, why don't we have a pet rock? It doesn't poop, it doesn't drink, it doesn't eat. He cut holes in the box so it could breathe and put some straw bedding down so it could be comfortable. And the Pet Rock was born. It didn't last very long because the fad died away in 6 months, but by then he became a millionaire, so it didn't really matter.
It was like the first viral sensation. He wrote a 32-page training manual on how to take care of your pet rock.
He needed something to do, he invented a rock.
It was a spectacular waste of everyone's time. Next we have the 1980s, and my favorite toy of that era would be the Rubiks Cube. It was a 3D combination puzzle box, and it was released by Ideal Toy Corporation in 1980. It was a huge hit. Everybody had one. The only time I was ever able to actually beat the Rubiks Cube was when I got frustrated as a child while I was trying to do the puzzle, and I took all the stickers off of it, and I put all the colors of the stickers in alignment on the 9x9 sides, and I just cheated. Well, but you know what? I win, so there was no rule book.
Wasn't in the manual.
Wasn't in the manual, so.
You know, if we had a 32-page manual, that'd be okay.
Still a good person, still a good little boy.
Who's a good little boy?
This guy right here.
You're still a good little boy.
I'm on the good list, because there was no rule against it. One of the other greats of the 1980s was the Cabbage Patch Kids dolls. My sister was obsessed with these. It was released in 1983. It was developed by Xavier Roberts, who was an artist, and he had developed this method of quilting and needle pointing to create this customized look. They were soft molded dolls. They were first introduced in the General Babyland Hospital in Georgia, Cleveland, as the Little People. It was under their original moniker. My sister was obsessed with these Cabbage Patch Kids dolls. She loved them. And I used to ruin them by taking them apart and stealing them. And I think maybe it was a sign of a deeper psychological problem.
Hold up, was Babyland a real thing?
Babyland was a real thing.
What is Babyland?
In fact, I think we have some footage.
In a cabbage patch garden, all in a row, magic cabbages live and grow. With bunny bee crystals and love and joy, they turn into a cabbage patch girl and boy.
If she was born feet first, we would have what's known as a branch delivery. We have quite some time on one of those.
The 1990s brought us Beanie Babies. Beanie Babies became hugely popular. Everybody seemed to want them. Everybody seemed to have them. They were basically small, plush, stuffed animals with tiny plastic beads in them to give them some weight. And everybody thought they were gonna be worth something. Everybody thought they were these huge collector's items. I think there's only like a handful of them which are collectors and do go for a lot of money. So it's kind of sad. I don't have 200 of these stuffed somewhere in my room.
You should always be wary of a corporation that makes something and then tells you it's a collectible.
Do everything anybody tells you to do.
That's not good advice.
Next up, we have Tickle Me Elmo. This was originally called Tickles the Chimp, but got renamed Tickles the Chimp. It's just so fun. Tickles the Chimp, but got renamed to Tickle Me Elmo when Tyco Toys got the rights to Sesame Street. It became popular when Rosie O'Donnell featured this on her show and it just blew up. There was 1 million of these things sold by December. Nobody could get one. Someone allegedly bought this thing for $7,000 at some point in that year.
And to think we were this close to having an awesome Tickles the Chimp monkey.
I actually find that much more frightening than Tickle Me Elmo.
All right, fast forward to the 2000s, and one of the most popular items you could get for that very first year, that great decade, is the Razor scooter. It's a foldable kick scooter that you can take around town. You can see them on blocks everywhere. Kids had them in every neighborhood. Although they were designed for kids, a lot of people used them for extreme sports, which I found to be pretty unnecessary. My son, he has one. He's a Star Wars Razor scooter, and he loves it. I get it. It's pretty awesome. I would probably bust it into a million pieces if I stepped onto it here, so I prefer more of like a Rascal type vehicle.
It was the Lexus of scooters.
Next we have Zhu Zhu Pets. Released in 2009, one of the most wildly popular Christmas items you could have gotten that decade. It was originally released in the UK as Go-Go Hamsters, which I think is a better name. They were these robotic, plush, talking hamsters, and they went through mazes. It was like Hot Wheels, except slower and more adorable. It was a tough time for you if you were a kid and you wanted to get one of these. Demand and shortage had ballooned their price up to over $60 each, which was a massive increase over the $9 MSRP that they had.
Next up, we have the Leapfrog LeapPad Explorer tablet. As tablets started exploding onto the scene, not actually exploding, metaphorically exploding, because if they started actually exploding,
mail in your warranty.
So Leapfrog made a cheaper alternative for kids to also learn how to read and to do math on this thing. And it would actually adjust the math and reading level to the child, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, it was edutainment.
Lastly, we have Furby Connect. Now, Furby Connect isn't the first Furby to become popular. Back in the 90s, we had the original Furby that hit the scenes. It became extremely popular and then it died out after people just didn't want to buy it anymore. So it's really interesting that Hasbro was able to revive it and bring it back in such a way that we had the Furby Boom and then we had the Furby Connect now, which it's really cool. It has up to 150 different animations in its eyes that it can project. And it also has over 1,000 phrases that it can say. And you can also sync it with an app too. So you can feed your Furby and have virtual Furblings in this app.
Just don't feed them after midnight.
Now, if you want to learn more about the Furby, we did a whole video on that topic, so use the link in the description. Well, thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the episode.
Like and subscribe and comment.
I hope you have a very Merry Christmas, and until next time, stay retro.
Drink, 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 drink.
In a Cabbage Patch garden, all in a row, magic cabbages live and grow. With Bunny Bee crystals and love and joy, they turn into a Cabbage Patch girl and boy. Cabbage Patch Kids,
growing in the garden,
Cabbage Patch Kids,
growing in the